Welcome to Always On. We're going to talk about how conversational AI is going to keep your business running. Now, conversational AI means that your business never sleeps. One of the biggest issues we have as business owners is not being able to answer the phone, right? Maybe we're in a meeting, maybe we're out in the field, who knows? But if we don't answer the phone, what typically happens? We like to think that people will leave a message and we can call them back. But we also know that our own behavior states that we don't do that, right? If we're trying to get like a plumbing issue fixed, we call the first plumber. If they don't answer, we go to the next plumber. We're not waiting for a call back, right? So every unanswered call is pushing your customers closer to one of your competitors, right? Voicemail isn't just outdated. Voicemail is actively pushing people away from your business because people don't want to wait for a callback. People want to get talked to when they call. Okay, let's talk about some common roadblocks when it comes to business communication. When we're relying solely on people, if we have a huge increase in the number of calls coming to our business, we can't handle that, right? So we have to hire people or we have to do something to allow us to talk to all of those people. You know, when we get a large amount of calls that come in, we typically start at the top of the list and we start to go down. Meanwhile, people that are lower on that list are calling other competitors, right? So staffing challenges is another big issue because you want to hire the people that are needed for the influx of calls that are coming, but we also know that we don't constantly have an influx. And so we may train someone and hire someone, and then all of a sudden we don't have enough work for them. And then finally, employees are expensive, right? So training employees are expensive. Churn is really hard. How many times has this happened where we've trained somebody and then they leave for whatever reason? Maybe they're going to start a competing business, but really like any kind of churn in our organization is tough. Let's talk about multi-purpose conversational AI. So this means that you can have as much scale as you want with human-like conversations using AI. So it can make up to 1,800 calls a minute. It's a 24/7 agent for you, right? Which means it's answering your calls no matter when they come in. It's responding to texts. It's making outbound calls. Maybe it's making reminder calls. So it's got inbound, it's got outbound, it's got texting. It can automatically book onto your calendar. And it's CRM agnostic. We can integrate with anything. Now think about that for a second. What are you typically paying people in your business to do? You want them to answer the phone, you want them to qualify a lead, and you want them to book an appointment, right? So you're paying someone to randomly pick up the phone when someone calls in, whereas AI could be doing this for you. This actually saved my business. So I have been in software development for about 15 years. I've run software development teams. I've also created a real estate team, done real estate flipping. So I was reaching a point where I had to keep hiring people in order to keep up with the amount of work that was going on. And you know what I realized? I don't love managing people. So maybe you can relate to this, right? I like doing my business, but I don't want to have to manage a ton of people. And so what I realized is I wanted to scale my business, but I didn't want to do it just by bringing on a bunch of people. And so I created an AI system that would actually do what I was hiring people to do. It would answer the calls, it would make the texts, it would qualify people, it would have conversations with them. All of those things that I was training people to do in my business, I replaced with AI. Oh, and this is a fun part. So I typed the text of this slide into AI and I had it generate an image, and that was the image it came up with no prompting. So it's like looking at a twin, right? Obviously. All right, so here are the 3 secrets of voice AI that most people don't understand. So voice AI is going to replace your voicemails. You're never going to have someone leave a voicemail because voice AI is going to pick up the phone and talk to whoever calls in whenever they call in. And it can handle hundreds of calls at the same time. Now, this is one of those places where you don't realize the difference in having AI answer your calls and a human. Because if a human is talking on the phone with one person, they can't pick up the phone and talk to someone else at the same time. But with AI, it can answer all the calls that come in. It can have concurrent conversations with everybody all at the same time. And the third thing is it's a simple setup with our white glove service. So you focus on growing your business and we focus on making sure that the AI is working for you. So let's talk first about replacing voicemails with conversational AI. So one of the biggest things is it's conversational and responsive. And what that means is it's listening to who's calling in and it's having a full-blown conversation with them. This is not some recording. This is not press 1 to go to this department. This is not that. This is a full-blown conversation with them where it will store all the information that it got from them and book appointments with you. Did you know that 40% of business calls are missed? 40%. And why? Because either you don't have the staffing for it or you're working on the actual business and can't answer the phone. So 40% of calls, what would that do to your business if 40% more calls were answered, qualified, and booked into appointments for you? That's the power of conversational AI. So it's also easy to use. You don't have to change anything in your business. So you simply tell the AI the calls you want AI to answer. You answer the calls that you want to answer. There's no more do not disturb. There's no more busy signals. There's no more sending calls to voicemail. AI has you covered 100%. And like I mentioned before, you can take simultaneous calls, right? So it's unlimited in terms of how many people are calling your business and how many people the AI is talking to. It can have all those conversations at the same time. You are covered. Now, it also replaces traditional staff. If you're paying someone just to answer the phone, qualify the lead, book the appointment, you don't need to pay for a person to do that anymore because AI will do it for you. So they can answer customer service questions, they can qualify your leads, they can automatically book your appointments straight onto your calendar. They can even live transfer to you if that's what you wanted to do. Now let's talk about the white glove service. This is where people usually get hung up. How do you actually get it to work and set up in your business? So we took care of all of that for you. You just keep running your business. You direct us on what the AI agents should be doing, and we'll take care of the rest. So typically we can have your first agent up and running in about 10 days. Think about that. In 10 days, you could have AI answering all of your phone calls. Let's talk about real world examples. Here's a solar company that we worked with, and the biggest problem that they had was the lead to contact ratio. So they were getting a ton of leads using Meta, right? They're spending all this money on ads on Meta to get people to come to their site and say they're interested, right? So the problem is that they didn't have enough staff to stay on top of the surges that were happening with ads. So if they launched their ads and they got, say, 1,000 leads, they couldn't get back to the people fast enough, right? Remember what I mentioned earlier. If someone tries to contact you for a service and you don't answer, they're going somewhere else. They're not waiting for you to call them back. And so the biggest issue they had was they just weren't getting in touch with these people. And so here's what we came up with for them. So we developed an AI call and text solution for them that would reach out to these leads within minutes. And the AI would contact them, confirm the information they gave them, pre-qualify them, and book them in an appointment. So it increased the lead to contact ratio by 153% just by putting AI at the front of their lead generation. Now, the AI is going to continue reaching out to these people. It's not a one and done, right? If they don't answer the phone when they call initially, it's going to continue calling back until it gets a hold of the person, right? And again, you're not doing any of this. This is all the AI. It's all happening behind the scenes. The moment that lead hits the system for this solar company, the moment the lead hits the system, it is calling them, it is texting them. Their sales team is focused on closing. Their sales team is no longer focused on qualifying. So this also led to an increase in bookings and a decrease in acquisition costs. And this is the most important thing for all of us, an increase in revenue because they were booking more appointments, they were talking to more people, and they booked more business. Okay, now let's switch gears. Let's talk about a high ticket webinar offer that we worked on for a client. So, one of their biggest issues was that people weren't showing up to the webinar and consequently weren't booking time with the sales team to actually close the deal. So, we developed an AI agent that would contact them before and after the webinar. So, the result that they got out of that was 32% increase in attendance. And this is what we did. We just had the AI call them before the seminar, talk to them, and remind them that the seminar was coming up. Then after the webinar, it would reach out to all the people that didn't actually attend. So they registered but didn't attend, and it would offer to send them a replay link. Also, anybody that did attend the webinar but didn't actually buy, it would call with a separate message saying, hey, do you have additional questions? Hey, can we book a call and talk with you? So they ended up getting a 42% increase in calendar bookings just by adding these AI pre and post automations that we built for them. Now let's talk about service-based businesses. So one of the businesses that I created was a real estate flipping business. And so that meant that I was dealing with plumbers, electricians, HVAC, all sorts of home service providers. And one of the things that we realized, especially with them, many of them are small shops. And if they miss a call because they're out working on another project, they're losing the business from that call, right? Remember what we said earlier. If someone's trying to get a hold of a plumber and you don't answer, they're just going to go to the next plumber. They're not going to wait until you call them back. So we custom built AI agents that would automatically answer every call, take the information, request an appointment with them, and even offer a live transfer. A lot of our clients actually use the AI for an after hours calling service. So they turn the AI on when they're no longer working, and any calls that come in are always going to get answered. They're always going to get recorded. They're always going to try and book an appointment, right? You can actually take a day off and go live your life, and the AI is going to take care of any calls that come into your business. So on average, this led to an increase of 105% of the calls answered and an average of 2 times more jobs booked, just by putting this AI in front, making sure that customers got someone when they called the business. Now let's listen to an actual call. I think you're going to be blown away by how well it responds to what the customer is saying and walks them through all the things that are necessary in order to book an appointment.
Hi, Nat. Are you the owner of 4807 Sunset Lane?
Yes.
Great. My name is Kevin, and I'm calling from real estate. We're a real estate investment company that buys properties in Country Club Hills. I'm reaching out to see if you might be interested in receiving a fair, no obligation cash offer for your property. Is that something you'd be open to exploring?
Yeah.
I appreciate your interest. Annette, to help me better understand your unique situation, would you mind sharing what prompted you to consider selling your property?
Would I mind sharing what, sir?
I apologize for any confusion. I was just asking what prompted you to consider selling your property.
What prompted me? My son and I own it together, and he's ready to sell.
I see. Family decisions can definitely influence these choices. How long have you and your son owned the property?
7 years.
Got it. And what would you say is the current condition of the property?
It's good.
Understood. And if you received a fair cash offer that met your needs, what would be your ideal timeline for selling?
Probably within the next 40 to 60 days.
Annette, based on what you've shared owning the property with your son and aiming to sell within the next 40 to 60 days, it sounds like your property could be a great fit for real estate. We specialize in helping owners in situations like yours sell their properties hassle-free. The next step would be to schedule a quick 15-minute call with one of our acquisition managers. They'll gather a few more details about the property and prepare a fair cash offer for you to review. Would tomorrow at 10 work for a follow-up call?
Tomorrow's not a good time. I'm out of town for some business. But let me see. Tomorrow is Wednesday or Thursday? Tomorrow's Thursday. Can we possibly do Friday?
Absolutely. Friday works. How about 11:30 a.m. or 2 p.m. on Friday?
That's fine.
All right, let's talk about who actually can benefit from conversational AI. Well, the answer is almost anyone. So if you're in home services, plumber, electrician, HVAC, carpet cleaner, house cleaner, pest control, anybody that's getting calls from the public to book their business can benefit from using conversational AI. That also includes realtors, lawyers, dentists, chiropractors, anybody that is getting calls into their business is going to benefit from conversational AI. It could also be e-commerce. We've worked with people where the AI bot is their support line. So we create the bot for them. It has all the answers for customers that customers typically ask, and then it answers all the calls for them. Let's talk about some of the common misperceptions about conversational AI. And the biggest one that people always say is it sounds robotic. But you listen to the call. Did that sound robotic to you? Also, people think that it's not customizable, and that's just not true. It can be customized to any business. People also think that bookings will go down if they're talking to an AI, and our experience is the exact opposite. People just want to get their questions answered. And then also that it's expensive. So there was a time where you had to be a Fortune 500 company in order to use conversational AI, but that's long gone. You would be surprised at how inexpensive it is to put conversational AI into your business. Let's talk about reasons people don't get started. So we've talked about some of the misperceptions, but a lot of people are just scared it's expensive. And you would be surprised at how inexpensive it is to put conversational AI into your business. A lot of people think it won't work, right? Or that like the customers will hate it and they won't want to talk to them. And that's just not true. We have seen time and time again with our customers that putting conversational AI at the front of your business lands them more appointments and gets them more revenue. And a lot of people think it's hard to set up. And that with us is not true. We do it all for you. You keep running your business. We're going to take care of setting this up. Now, you've probably tried hiring staff in your business. When I was growing a smaller real estate business, I grew it out to about 15 people, and staffing is hard. Staffing is expensive. So our one virtual assistant can cost anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a month, depending on the amount of hours that you're spending, right? The average employee turnover in the United States is 47%, right? And we know as business owners how hard that is when we spend all this time training an employee, getting them comfortable and familiar with what's going on. They start producing, and then out of nowhere, they quit. So new employee training ends up taking like 90 days in order to get someone new in their place, right? We've all been there where like we want to hire someone because we're so busy, but then we realize we actually have to spend more time training them than actually doing the work until they're at a place where they can start doing it, right? 30% of new employees leave a company within 90 days. So you haven't even finished training them and they've already left the company. And 40% are already feeling disengaged after 3 months. So autopilot AI agents don't have turnover. They cost a fraction of what you're paying your staff, and it's 100% supported by us. Let's talk about some traditional costs that you may have right now in your business. So we talked about virtual assistants. Those can be up to $1,500 or even more a month. We've talked about some answering services. So after hours calls, right? You want somebody to be able to answer the phone. Right now, you're paying humans to do that. Let's talk about training costs. So when you're training someone, you are spending money. You are paying them to be in the business, to be trained, and you're also not spending time closing business. So you're missing out on opportunities that you could be closing, but you can't because you're spending this time training this person, right? So you're spending, say, $6,000 a month and you're struggling, right? It's a lot of money to spend just to solve the problem of someone answering the phone. And let's not put a price on the potential time you were gonna buy back with your family, with your loved ones, or just overall freedom you're gonna have if all of this gets solved by AI. So let's talk about what your future looks like with autopilot AI. You're never gonna have a missed call again. You're gonna have a 24/7 receptionist that's always ready to answer the phone. You're gonna get an increase in your calendar bookings. You're never going to experience call fatigue. right? The AI is never going to get tired of answering the phone and having a great personality while they do it. Also, you're not going to have to go over training again and again and again. Once the AI is trained, you're done. And what does all of that mean? It means you get back more of your time, it means you get back more of your money, and it means you get more freedom because you're not having to train, pay, or deal with staff that's answering your calls. So what does it look like if you're working with Autopilot AI? So as I mentioned previously, we have complete white glove service. So we will custom build your AI agent tailored to your business. We'll handle all the setup. You just focus on growing the business. It'll automate all of your bookings. So you no longer have to worry about your calendar being full because it will take care of that for you. It's also got live transfer capability, right? It's not like the AI has to answer every call. The AI can answer the call, and then based on whatever criteria you decide, it transfers the call to you, to a salesperson, to a customer service rep, whatever makes sense for your business. We do a custom CRM integration using Zapier, so you don't have to change any of the way that you're managing your leads right now. And we have a dedicated support team that is here to help and answer any questions you have. Your success is our success. We want you to succeed with AI. Okay, let's talk about how to get started with Autopilot AI. So the first thing I want to mention is that we guarantee that your bot is going to be up and running within the first 90 days, or we will refund all of your money. Typically, our bots are up much sooner than that, but we want to make sure that you feel comfortable with the investment that you're about to take into your business. So there's two plans you can work with for us. You can do a monthly plan, which is just $2.99 a month, or you can do a yearly plan, which gives you 2 free months and no setup fee. So the choice is yours. If you're interested in getting started, click on the button below this webinar and schedule some time to talk with me or my team. Okay, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to learn about conversational AI and how it can book more appointments for you, get you more revenue, and help you save on staffing costs. If you want to get a hold of us, the information is on the screen below. You can reach out to us. You can have our AI call you. You can contact our sales team. We're here to answer any questions you have. And by the way, our AI is going to be reaching out to you after this via call and via text just to make sure that all your questions have been answered. Here is to you getting more business by using Autopilot AI. Thanks.